Okay, so number one is a quick recall question. We learned how to do this on Tuesday. Okay, so if I want to solve for x here, what do I do? Michelle? Right. Okay, so because I'm dividing here, since I'm dividing here, I'm going to do the opposite, which is times. Am I timesing by -2 or +2? Negative, that's right. I'm multiplying by -2 because I already did the opposite. My opposite was divide to times. So I don't change this to positive. Otherwise, I'm doing double opposite. Okay, so I'm just timesing the 3 and the 2. So my answer is simply x equals -6. Okay. Another so this is using Tuesday's method, okay, in first operation. If I were to use yesterday's method, which is to get rid of my denominator, what do I do to get rid of denominators? Yeah. You would move it like you would multiply through by the least common denominator. Right, okay. So multiply through by my lowest common denominator. In this case, my lowest common denominator is -2. So, and so if I multiply this by -2, this by -2, I get the same answer. So Tuesday's method, Wednesday's method, both works in this case. Right? This one, I have two denominator, so I should use Wednesday's method. Right? What is my lowest common denominator here? Yep, 8, right? So if I multiply this by 8 and I multiply this by 8, what do I get? -5 times 8 is divided by 2? Good. Okay, and then x times 8, 8x, divided by 8? 1x, or just x. Oh, that's my answer. So x is -20. All right. Again, what I did was I multiplied both of these terms by my LCD. So in this case, it's 8. Between 2 and 8, my LCD is 8. The negative, I just put it to the numerator. Right? Some people put it on the top, some people put it on the bottom, as long as it's not both. It's just either or. So mostly we put it to the -5, make it -5. Okay. So the next one, same idea. Again, I'm gonna multiply everything. Multiply everything by my lowest common denominator. What's my LCD here? Between 3 and 2? My lowest common denominator is 6. Yeah. So I'm gonna multiply this whole term by 6, and I'm gonna multiply this whole term by 6. Okay. So this part right here is a little tricky because there's a x plus 2 in the numerator. Okay, so I'm basically doing 6 times my whole bracket divided by 3. So what is 6 divided by 3? 2. Yeah, so then it's 2 times the rest of my bracket. Right? 6 times this divided by 3 means it's 2 times the bracket. Okay, 5 times 6? 30 divided by 2? 15. Yeah, that's it. All right. And then this is what we learned yesterday. Okay. What do I do with that 2? Oh, sorry. Yeah. If the denominator is x, you just do least common denominator? No. It's still least common denominator, which is x. So you would still multiply both sides by x. Good question. All right. So from here, this is what we did yesterday. We would distribute that 2 to everything inside the bracket. So we get 2x plus 4 equals 15. Okay. And then we do the inverse operation. Okay. Inverse of plus 4 is? Yep. Set? Oh, okay. So, yep.
15 minus 4, which is 11.
Yep. And then
we do 15. We do 11 divided by 2.
right. Okay. Opposite. So instead of plus 4, because we're doing the inverse now, it's minus 4. Instead of times 2, we're divide by 2. So x equal 15 minus 4 divided by 2. So we get 11 over 2. Okay. I'll just give a second. Okay. This is as hard as you can get. All right. I'll give you guys 3 minutes to try this one. All right, take 3 minutes to try this one, following the same procedure. It's like the same type of question. So first step is you want to figure out what your LCD is, and then multiply each of the terms by that. All right, see if you can do this one. 3 minutes. All right, so what's my LCD here? 15. So I'm going to multiply this whole thing by 15. I'm going to multiply this whole thing by 15. And I'm going to multiply this whole thing by 15. Notice I have 3 different terms. Okay. I know that here there is a plus sign, and so you might be thinking there's 2 different terms. You can separate. So if after you distribute, you could separate it into 2 different terms, or we can keep it as 1 term first and then deal with it after. Right. So here, what's 5 times 15 divided by 3? 5 times 15 divided by 3, I get 25. So I have 25 times this bracket, right? Okay, 5 times 15 divided by 3. That's how I get rid of all these numbers. It just simplifies to 25. Right, so 25 times the bracket. Here, negative x times 15 divided by 5. 15 divided by 5 is? 15 divided by 5? 3. Yep, so 3 times negative x, negative 3x. All right. Or you can think of it as negative x times 15 is negative 15x. Divided by 5, you get negative 3x. Negative 1 times 15. Negative 15. A common mistake that people do is they forget to multiply this by 15. And they leave it as the minus 1. Remember, you multiply through every single term. Okay, so now do what we did right here. Same idea. We move, we distribute by multiply. So 25 times x is 25x. 25 times 1 is plus 25. Okay. And now what do? I have letters and numbers on both sides. Charles?
The number God moves the coefficient to the other two scattered.
Right. Okay. So move all the like terms together. When I move this negative 3x, what does it become? Negative 3x becomes, sorry? Positive 3x, right. Remember opposite. And positive 25 becomes negative 25. All right. So 25x plus 3x, you get 28x. Negative 15 minus negative 25, negative 40. And then what's my last step? Divided by 28. Good. All right, so x is negative 40 over 28. Is this a good answer though? Simplify, right? You can reduce it, no decimals. we're doing the so no more decimals from now on. Decimal? No decimals. It has to be fractions. So you can reduce it. What goes into both? 4. Yeah, you can reduce both top and bottom by 4. Right? So this would be negative 10 over 7. Oops, sorry. Negative 10 over 7. All right. How many of you got negative 10 over 7? Okay. But so those of you who gave me an answer before, what was the mistake? I want to know like what was the common mistake that you guys did?
The 5 to the other number. I forgot to multiply by 5. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So like yeah, right here what we did was just we divided the 6 by the 3 because there's no other number outside. Okay. And then Claire, what was your mistake?
Oh, I said again 7.
Yeah, you said negative 7 over 10, but this is negative 10 over 7. Yeah, so that's why I said you're very close. And then I was thinking, how did you get 7 over 10? Okay. Yeah, you could also do that. So you could do 5x plus 5 over 3 and then break it into 5x over 3, 5 over 3. And then you would have to multiply each of the terms by 15. Yeah, so both way works. You can distribute here or you can distribute here. Yep. Okay, so this is as hard as it will get. If you can do this, you are in really good shape. If you cannot do this yet, that's why today is a catch-up period. So you should be able to work up to page 20. Okay, up to page 20 by tonight.